In a village hidden among the mountains, there lived Don Eusebio, a grumpy, lonely old man. He was known for his hard and selfish character, and rarely did anyone see him smile. Don Eusebio didn't get along well with his neighbors. If someone needed help, he would close his door. And when someone offered to help him, he would reject them with bad words. His motto was that everyone should fend for himself, without owing anything to anyone. Don Eusebio had a small vegetable garden, which was his only pride and joy. Day after day, he worked in it alone, without accepting even the slightest help. For him, it was enough to be surrounded by his vegetables and plants, which seemed to be the only things he could tolerate. The village children, who looked at him with curiosity, learned to fear him, and no neighbor dared to cross words with him. As the years went by, Don Eusebio's health began to decline. At first, it was only mild discomfort, which did not prevent him from continuing his solitary life. But one day, he woke up with a high fever and a pain in his chest that made it difficult for him to breathe. He tried to get up to tend his garden, but his body did not respond. Weak and frightened, he realized that for the first time, he needed help. Desperate, he looked out of the window for a neighbor passing by, but the road was empty. Hours passed, and no one came to help him. That afternoon, Don Eusebio heard distant laughter, and the sound of footsteps. With effort he looked out and saw the children of the village playing nearby. He gathered his last strength, and called out to them. But the children, fearful of his bad temper, did not come near. That night, Don Eusebio felt lonelier than ever. He remembered all the times he had refused the kind hand of a neighbor, the times he had ignored the needs of others, and the harsh words he had always hurled at those who were only trying to be kind to him. It was then that he understood, with painful clarity, the weight of the words he had heard so many times. What you sow, you reap. The next day, the only visitor he received was his silence and loneliness. Several days passed before one of the neighbors noticed Don Eusebio's absence in the garden. Worried, he approached him and, finding him in a bad state, called the doctor. He was attended to and managed to stabilize him. Don Eusebio knew that his life had changed forever. His body was no longer the same, and neither was his heart. Repentant, Don Eusebio began to change his ways. He approached his neighbors, and, with humility, apologized for the years of contempt. He began to help in the little things he could, to smile at the children playing on the road, and, above all, to receive with gratitude whatever help anyone offered him. In time, the village began to accept him, and Don Eusebio found a peace he had never known before. His vegetable garden also began to blossom like never before, full of color and life. Don Eusebio had learned, in the end, that life always gives us back what we give, and that there is no greater reward than sowing kindness, and reaping the harvest of a shared life. If you liked it, remember to like and subscribe for more content like this. Thank you very much for making it this far. And remember, keep growing, and see you in the next video.